Hi Math 5-4. This is the video for lesson 117, which is located in your textbook on page 541 and is scheduled for Monday, April 20th. As a reminder, the week 11 homework is due today. For this lesson, there's a time test J on page 227 of your test and worksheet book, and that is a division time test. So go ahead and take that and have your parents check it over and grade it for you. We'll get started on the lesson. Okay, so this lesson is dealing with place value and rounding. So when we're rounding, just a quick review, there's a ton of jingles and different things people use for rounding. I'm just going to give you the basic rules because I'm assuming at this point we've already done so much rounding. You know your jingles, so I'm not gonna sing for you because nobody wants that, right? So okay, so the first thing you need to do is find the digit you're rounding. That's find the place value you're rounding to. Find the digit that you are rounding to. Okay, we'll work on that in a minute. Then I'm going to look to the right of it, to the digit to the right of it. If that digit's 5 and up, I'm going to round up. And if it's less than 5, I'm going to round down. Okay? So that's my basic rounding rules. I'm going to use a number because we're going to be rounding to the 100 millions today. So I'm going to use, this is my number that we're going to be using to practice rounding to various place values. So this number, remember, if I go all the way over here, is, remember I read it in sections around the commas. Okay, so I start with my first section before the commas. That number is 412, and I say this place value, million. And then this section, 156, and I say this place value, thousands. So, 412,156,324. I don't have to say ones, I just say 324. I put our decimal place there. Typically when we write numbers, we don't have to put that decimal place there. I just put it there so you would know where we are in place value, that we're in the ones, the 4 is in the ones, the 2 is in the tens, the 3 is in the hundreds. I left a space for our comma because from the right you say 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. 6 is in the thousands, 5 is in 10,000, 100,000, 2 million, 1 10 million, 4 100 million. So today we're going to be rounding all the way out here toward the 100 millions. And we're going to use this number as our example to practice with. Okay, so if I look at, let me keep that number on the screen, and my first example asks me to round to the nearest 10,000. So I'm going to look up here at my number and find my 10,000s digit, and that's right here, 10,000s. So I have a 5. So I have found the one I'm rounding to. My next step is to look to the right of it, and I have a 6 to the right of it. That 6 is higher than 5, so I'm going to round the 10,000 spot up to 6. Okay, I found my digit. Let me do that again. I'm rounding to the 10,000. I found that because that's what my problem tells me to do. Round to the nearest 10,000. My digit in the 10,000s is 5. So this is the digit I am rounding. I have to look to the right to determine what to do with it. So when I look to the right, 5 or higher, I round up. So I'm taking this 5 and rounding it up to a 6. So when I write that number, I keep everything before it the same. 4, 1, 2, 1 stays the same. I said my 5 is going to become a 6, and then everything after it becomes zeros. 1, 2, 3 for that. So now my number is 412,160,000 when I round to the 10,000 spot. Okay, so let's go to another one. I'm going to try to keep both of these on the screen, I hope. Let's see if I can do that. All right, round to the nearest 100,000. Let me fold this down. That would help a lot because I don't need it any bigger. Okay. Is that better? Let me make sure we're all on the screen. Yes. Okay. Round to the nearest 100,000. That tells me what digit I'm going to be looking to round. 100,000. So I look through ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Follow that up. The 1 is in the place value I'm going to be rounding to. So I have to look here. This is my place value. I have to look to the right to determine what to do with this one. So I look to the right. I have a 5. 5 is 5 or higher. So I'm going to round this digit up from a 1 to a 2. So when I do that, the numbers before it stay the same. 4, 1, 2, comma, and I said my 1 becomes a 2 because my 5 told me I had to round up. So then the 0 behind it becomes zeros. Okay, so I took my 4, 1, 2. I was rounding to the 100,000. I determined that my 5 is making this become a 2. I'm rounding up to the 200,000 place. So 412,200,000. Okay? Let's see. Now I'm going to round my number to the million, to the place value of the million. So I have to find the million. 1, 10, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. Here's my millions. My 2 is in my millions spot right here. So this is the digit I'm trying to figure out what to do with, if I round it or leave it. So I look to the right. This digit is a 1. 1 is less than 5. So I can leave my digit and leave it alone, or round down. So I leave it as a 2. I don't have to round up. So my digits before it stay the same. A 1, I said my 2 is not changing because a 1 tells me I can leave it alone. And then I have to fill in zeros behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Okay? And so my answer is 412 million. Now I'm going to take this number and I'm going to round it to the nearest 10 million. So I go through and find my 10 million spot. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, right here. And I go up. This is the digit I'm concerned with. And I look to the right to figure out what to do with it. To the right, I have a 2, which is less than 5, which means I can round down or stay the same. When I say round down, I mean it's the same thing as leaving it alone. It means don't bump it up to the next number. Leave it where it's at. So my digits before it stay the same. I determined my 1 can stay the same. And everything after that becomes zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now I have 410 million. My next example asks me to round to the nearest 100 million. So I go through ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. And I see my 4 is the digit I'm concerned with. This is the one I have to determine what to do with. I look to the right and have a 1. The 1 is less than 5, so I can round down and leave it as a 4. So I'll write my 4, and and then everything after that becomes zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I place my commas starting from the right. I count 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now my answer is 400 million. Okay? So I will, if you need, I'm going to take all this away for a second, and I'm going to leave, I'm going to fold this where it's neat, and I'm going to leave this on the screen for a minute so that you could either take a screenshot of it if you need it, or you could copy it down. You could pause the video and copy it down if you need that to help you, because it's not going to give you, your practice problems are going to give you different numbers every time to work with. I used the same number so that I could show you the different place value in this number. Some of the numbers will be smaller than this, and some of the numbers could be as large as this. So there is that. Your practice problems are located on page 542. Let me open up my page again. So practice problems. Lesson practice problems are on page 542 for this lesson. Okay? And there are 7 problems. I have practice problems. I hope you're doing well, and there will be a video coming for 118 and 119 soon. Bye.